Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full review for this Nokia Lumia 525. I have been testing this Lumia 525 for almost about 2 weeks. I have also made some other videos on the Lumia 525 like the gaming video and some other features. Links for those will be in the show notes. So let's get on with this Nokia Lumia 525. And this Lumia 525 is the successor to the very popular Lumia 520. And actually physically also it actually looks very similar to the Lumia 520. You cannot differentiate between both of them if you just look at it. The internals have been bumped up a little bit on the Lumia 525. Most notably, the Lumia 525 has 1 GB of RAM compared to the Lumia 520 that had just 512 MB of RAM, and that opens up some opportunities. For example, as you can see, even on the box, it denotes that it can do some gaming, and yes, it can do some gaming now, and it can even play high-end games like Asphalt 8, Nova 3, Modern Combat 4, etc. And if you have purchased this Nokia Lumia 525 in India, currently Nokia is running an offer where you can download up to 10 games. Those are paid games from Gameloft for free. This offer is valid only up to March 31st, and I'll have the link for that in the show notes. So that's quite interesting. And let me start with the physical overview. Again, it's the same as the Lumia 520. It sports a 4-inch screen that has a resolution of 480 by 800 pixels. And as you can see, the quality of the screen is pretty decent. Outdoor, the screen can go pretty bright. It does have an auto brightness sensor, but outdoor screen legibility, I would say, is not that good. It's just okay-ish. Moving to the physical aspects, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. On this end, we have the volume rocker. This is the power on off button, and we have a dedicated button for the camera shutter button. On the bottom, we have the micro USB slot that will be used for charging this phone, and on this end, we have nothing. The back cover can be opened and you have access to the battery. The battery is the same, that is the 1430 milliampere battery. And I would say in terms of battery life, the battery life was just average-ish. With average usage, it was lasting me 1 day, but if you are a heavy user, you might have to charge it twice a day, or if you do a lot of gaming for that matter. In terms of battery life, I would say it was very similar to what battery life I got with the Lumia 520. But again, this Lumia 525, Nokia is touting it as a gaming, phone. And definitely if you do gaming, the battery drains up like crazy. Moving again towards the back, the camera is the same 5 megapixel shooter. Again, we do not get any LED flash even on this Lumia 525. We don't even have a front-facing camera, and we have the Nokia branding, we have the earpiece, and we have the standard back, and this is the Windows button, and this is the search button that we get with the most Windows phone. That's the same. The good thing with this Lumia 525 is that it comes with the latest Windows update. That was the black update at the time of reviewing, and it comes pre-installed. Hence, we do have some interesting apps on this one. For example, I also made a video about it. That is the Nokia Beamer, etc. So that's nice. And in my day-to-day testing, I would say the phone was fluid to operate. I didn't have any issues with the phone. The voice call quality that also I got with this phone was excellent. In terms of Wi-Fi also and Bluetooth reception, I had no problems with this phone. So in that aspect, the phone performed brilliantly. As I told you, the battery life is just kind of average, as I mentioned. Regarding the internal storage, here also Nokia didn't do a major update. It comes with 8 GB of internal storage. Yes, we do have a micro SD card and accepts micro SD card up to 64 GB. But as of now, you cannot install the apps or any app data to the micro SD card directly. To store anything to the micro SD card, you have to move those files from the computer. You can't move files between the phone internal storage and the micro SD card directly. But I do suggest that you add a micro SD card because the camera app can store videos and photos that you take to the SD card. Now coming to under the hood, it's the same as the Lumia 520. It houses a 1 GHz dual core processor. That's a Qualcomm based Snapdragon processor, and the GPU is the same, that is the Adreno 305. And also in terms of gaming also, I had some actually pretty good experience with this phone. As I told you, it could even run heavy games like Asphalt 8, Modern Combat 4, Nova 3, etc. But the limiting factor was the internal storage. With the one big game like Asphalt 8, you have just limited storage there, hence you cannot install a lot of games. I've actually made a dedicated video regarding the gaming of this Lumia 525. So if you are interested in that aspect, I would suggest that you check that video. Now coming to one more thing that I noticed is I have this black version, and on this black version, the back cover is still plastic, but it gives that rubberish feel. But if you're going to buy this Lumia 525 in other colors, for example, we have the orange, white and the yellow, the back is not this rubber texture feel, but it is very glossy, shiny plastic. Overall, I would say the phone performed brilliantly. We do get some new stuff. For example, we do get this double tap to wake the phone, so that is interesting. And overall, the performance, as I told you, was decent with this phone. We also have the voice assistant, but it is kind of limiting. For example, if you hold this Windows button for a while, for 2 seconds, that comes up. Open calendar.
Starting calendar.
And as you can see, it works. But the functionality is kind of limited. For example, what's the weather like?
Sorry, did not catch that.
So as you can see, it is what can I say?
Here is a list of things you can say. Please flick left to go to the next example, right to go to the previous one.
So as of now, the functionality is a little bit limited.
Try apps.
For example,
more things you can do. Common. Try saying.
So we do have that functionality, but as of now it's a bit limited. Microsoft has said that with the Windows 8.1 update they'll be adding a lot more functionality, so only time will tell how well it happens. But overall, in the day-to-day performance, I had no issues with this Lumia 525. Now coming to some of the cons, if you're a Google user, there is a spat going on between Google and Microsoft, so we don't have direct support for Google apps. For example, Gmail, I had a problem using Gmail with it. You can make it work, but it's a roundabout process. Also, you don't have native apps, for example, like YouTube, Google Plus, etc. So if you are heavily invested into Google services, then you won't find native apps. I did find some third-party apps. For example, this YouTube HD is not a native app, but a third-party app. It works kind of, but again, I would say that I would love to have an official app. So that's kind of limiting if you are going to use, what do you say, a lot of Google services on this phone as of now. Another good thing about this Windows phone is that if you are an Office user, you do get Office pre-installed on this. So that's nice. You have Word, you have the presentation software, that's PowerPoint, and also OneNote with this one, and also Excel. So that's nice. In terms of web browsing, it has the IE browser installed and it was decent enough, but I would say if you want more functionality, you can download the UC browser, which has a little bit more functionality. One more thing I like is the Nokia specific apps on this Lumia 525. The Here drive is also great. You can actually download the maps to the device, and hence even without a cellular data connection, you can use the mapping. We have the Nokia Music. So, and again, one more thing I found is this Nokia Smart Camera app is excellent. Now coming to the camera performance also, though it's just a 5 megapixel camera, I would say the camera performance was brilliant. It can also shoot video up to 720p HD. I've actually made a dedicated video regarding the camera performance, so you can check out that for samples. But overall, I would say though it's just a 5 megapixel camera, the performance of the camera was very good and above average. For example, even in low lighting conditions, that is indoor in artificial light, the camera performed brilliantly, and I would say it performs much better than some of the Android phones that have an 8 megapixel camera. It's just sad to see that the camera could have done a lot more, and the thing that Nokia did not add a LED flash is kind of disappointing. But overall, I was very impressed with the 5 megapixel rear facing camera on this Lumia 525. In terms of video playback, I could also play back videos up to 1080p. 720p videos were not an issue, but again, I've noticed that it could play many of the video formats, but some of the video formats gave me an error. It might work with third-party video apps, but I did not test that. So overall, I would say this is a decent this Nokia Lumia 525 is a very decent phone, and for the price, you are getting a lot. You are getting a very good processor. You have 1 GB of RAM. But again, if you are a power user or you are a user who was already using Android, as of now, Windows phones has some limitations to it. So again, you should be aware of that. I actually made a video about it. It's an 8-minute video. If you are a kind of a power user or an existing Android user, I would suggest that you have a look at that video. And if you are okay with the limitations of this Windows phone and you like the interface of this Windows phone, I would say definitely this Nokia Lumia 525 is a very good bet. I would say it's even better than the Nokia Lumia 625 because it does have 1 GB of RAM, hence it can run a lot more apps and games. Now coming to the downers, as I told you, the internal storage is a little bit less. Out of that 8 GB, you just get about 4.6 or 4.7 GB. So that's a little bit of a con. And also, Nokia should have added a LED flash on this Lumia 525. Also, in terms of battery life, I would say it was very average-ish. But overall, considering these minor shortcomings, I would say overall this Nokia Lumia 525 is a very good Windows phone. I hope that you found this video review helpful. If you found it helpful, I'll appreciate if you can click the like button. Thank you. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video.